Hello everyone and welcome in. This is the Tucker Meyer Show. This episode is dedicated to those with Trump derangement syndrome. And I'm here to help cure that for you guys. Now, TDS is not a very good condition to have, especially coming up this November of 2020. It's important to make the right choice because if you take a look at the Democratic Party right now, their field is extremely weak. It's all radical, socialist, and communist in that party. They're the party of high taxes, late-term abortions, open borders, free everything, just socialism. This is not good. It's actually very scary on what they want to do. They want to tax middle-class Americans 50%, 70%. They want to tax corporations 90% and have unconstitutional wealth taxes. Are you really okay with that? Well, you may not be, but you're going to vote for Democrat anyways because, well, you just hate the president. You hate Trump. But you don't know why you hate him, or you may have a reason. Like I speak to many anti-Trump people. Their responses to why they hate him are typically, he thinks he called Mexicans rapists. He's Hitler. He's mean. He hasn't. And the one thing I hear all the time is he hasn't done anything, and he's racist. Well, I'm going to go through and debunk these myths for you guys, so you will have a better understanding, and you can make the right choice this upcoming November of 2020. And this is a very important episode to listen to. So, let's jump right into it. Myth number 1. I hear this a lot. Trump called Mexicans rapists. Okay? Well, if you look at the full transcript of what he said, which I'm about to read to you, this is what he said. And he said this back in 2015 at a campaign rally in Phoenix, Arizona. Okay? So I'm going to read the transcript to you, and then you will see. Trump quotes, "When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists, and some I assume are good people. But I speak to border guards, and they tell us what we're getting, and it only makes common sense. It only makes common sense. They're sending us not the right people. It's coming from more than Mexico. It's coming from all over South and Latin America, and it's coming probably from the Middle East. But we don't know, because we have no protection, and we have no competence. We don't know what's happening, and it's got to stop, and it's got to stop fast." Okay, so I'm going to admit, he could have said this better. He could have said it's better. But he did not say, Mexicans are rapists, and they're criminals. They're terrible, terrible people. He did not say that. What he's saying is there is crime that comes across that southern border. He's absolutely correct. Okay, and right now we're seeing the majority of people arriving on that southern border are actually from El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala. Okay, Mexican immigration has actually been declining since 2014, according to the Pew Research Center. Okay, but still the majority of the illegal alien population is of Mexican nationals is 56%. They still make up the majority. But here's the thing. When he's saying they're rapists, well, here's the thing. 1 in 3 women are raped coming across the southern border, typically by Mexican smugglers. Okay? Rapists. They're bringing crime. Well, here's the thing. 21% of all crime in the United States is committed by non-citizens. 93% of those are non-citizens. Illegal aliens, rather. And 46% of our street gangs are Hispanic. 66% of them are in this country illegally. Okay, and gamers do 80% of crime. Now, they're bringing drugs. That is absolutely true. 90% of our nation's heroin comes across the southern border. 93% of our nation's cocaine comes across the southern border. Okay, majority of our drugs are coming across that southern border. Okay, U.S.-Mexico border. Okay, That's absolutely true. And Mexico is a terrible place, statistically speaking. It's a beautiful place, okay? But I'm saying, relatively speaking, they're the second most dangerous country behind Syria, okay? Point that out in a study. Now, also, it's just their police there is very corrupt. I mean, if their police make under minimum wage, they don't even want to work. They don't even want to work, and then that just leads to more crime. And literally, the cartels are taking over Mexico right now. So he is right. Mexico is saying it's a promise, but don't get me wrong. There are a lot of good people who want to come. But right now, he's referring to illegal immigration. He's talking about the border wall, why he wants to build it. He's not talking about legal immigrants. Okay, so he could have said this better, but he did not call Mexicans rapists. Okay, so myth number 1 debunked. Now, let's get to myth number 2. Okay, so now I hear this one a lot when people tell me why they hate Trump as well. Trump is separating families at the border. Oh my gosh, he's separating families. And okay, well, and putting them in cages. All right, well, it's important to note that the separation of families has been going on since 1993. It started under the Clinton administration. Okay, and President Trump actually signed an executive order to end family separation. Okay, and when you're seeing these cages, those were started with the Obama administration in 2014. Okay, sorry, 2012 rather, and under Obama Secretary, Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson. So, yeah, it's not starting on Trump. And Trump's actually passed a $4.5 billion spending bill to help improve the conditions, like the detention facilities and immigration facilities on the southern border, which the Democrats, of course, blocked 17 times, but they finally came through and passed it. Okay, so this family, and they're separating families because it's by Operation Law. Okay, it was ruled in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. I go over this in Immigration for Dummies. In the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, it was ruled in 2008 that if parents are arrested for illegal immigration, the kids have to be separated from the parents. And then in 2016, it was ruled again in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals that children have to be released back to their parents within a mandatory of 20 days. Okay, and that was a huge loophole in the immigration and asylum process, etc. So, by Operation Law, they have to be separated, but Donald Trump actually signed an executive order to end it. So those of you complaining about it should actually be praising the president for doing so. All right, that's a huge one. It's called the Flores settlement, or the court case of Reno versus Flores, but it's called the Flores settlement. So yeah. All right, myth number 3. Trump is a white supremacist and called neo-Nazis very fine people. So we hear this all the time from people. He's a white supremacist. You ask them, okay, how is he a white supremacist? I can't think of anything right now, but I know he is. He's actually said something like about neo-Nazis and stuff. Yeah, he called neo-Nazis fine people. Yeah, he's a white supremacist. Okay. Well, actually, it turns out, right, you hear the Charlottesville lie when Trump, the idea that Trump called white supremacists very fine people and the neo-Nazis very fine people back in Charlottesville at the white nationalist gathering. He said this back in 2017. Well, if you take a look, so Trump actually condemned the neo-Nazis, and and when he said very fine people, he was referring to the very fine people as another group of Charlottesville protesters who came out that weekend, and the protesters who wanted Robert E. Lee's statue removed, and protesters who wanted to keep the statue and restore the park's original name. So this is what President Trump actually said. He said, you also had some very fine people on both sides. You had people in the group that were there to protest the taking down to them a very, very important statue and the renaming of a park from Robert E. Lee to another name. And then a few moments later, Trump said, well, I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists. They should be condemned totally. And he also called them white supremacists, the scum of the earth. So, hopefully that helps settle you guys down just a little more. All right. Myth number 4. Okay. Trump is racist. You hear this all the time. All the time. all the time. I hear this all the time. Trump is a racist. Okay, well, here's the thing. Well, the evidence suggests that he is not. So first off, now, since Martin Luther King Jr. Day, I'll start off with this. Now, Trump's actually signed a bill to upgrade MLK's birthplace to a historic national park. If he was racist, why would he want a black guy why would he want a historic national park commemorating a black guy? Right? Does that make any sense to you? And if he was a white supremacist, would he want that too? Probably not. All right. And this is actually good that he's doing that, because MLK really helped out this country a lot. And then also Trump passed the First Step Act, which mostly pardons, black inmates from jail. It mostly helps black people, pardons a lot of black people from jail. The First Step Act. So if he was racist, wouldn't he want to sign a bill to get more black people in? Joe Biden and Bill Clinton did when they did their prison reform. There was a record number of black imprisonment. Yeah. Okay. Now there's also Trump signed a bill to invest money into helping black communities as well, because those communities run by Democrats are just terrible places. So if Trump was racist, why would he want to be helping out the black communities and Latino communities by investing billions of dollars to help rebuild the communities? If he was racist, wouldn't he just ignore that and be like the Democrats who are racist and just want to see the blacks and Latinos suffer? Now, also, black and Latino and Asian employment is at a record low. So, if he was actually racist, wouldn't he not want the black, wouldn't he not want minorities to do well? Just like the Democrats in Trump's State of the Union speech, the first one he gave. When Donald Trump announced record low black unemployment, none of the Democrats stood up. None of them cheered either. They just sat down. Well, there's your answer. They're the racist. Okay, also, some more proof that Donald Trump is not racist. In 1976, Trump received the Humanitarian Award by the National Jewish Health. In 1983, Trump received the Tree of Life Award by the Jewish National Fund. In 1986, this is a big one. 1986, Trump received the Ellis Island Award, and it was given to Trump, Rosa Parks, and Muhammad Ali. Okay, so that's pretty big. Now, in 1990, video of the Rev. Jesse Jackson lauding Trump as a friend to minorities and undeserved communities. Jackson expressed appreciation for Trump's support of the Rainbow Push Coalition's initiative called the Wall Street Project, which aimed to help minority-owned businesses. 1995, President's Medal by the Freedom Foundation Washington for his support of youth programs. In 2007, he won the Muhammad Ali Entrepreneur Award. In 2008, Trump won the Unicorn Children's Foundation's Shining Star Award. In 2011, Trump won the Presidential Hero Award by the Lois Pope Life Foundation. And in 2015, Trump won the Aljamir Liberty Award for contributions to Israel-United States relations. So if he was really racist and a white supremacist, why would he be getting all these awards? You realize he was starting to be called a racist once he started running for president. How do you suddenly become a racist all of a sudden like that? I don't know. Something to think about. All right, myth number 5. This one I always laugh at. When people say Trump is Hitler, he's like Hitler, he's worse than Hitler. Well, there's just so many things wrong with that theory. Okay, so many things wrong with that theory. First off, so we all know Hitler was anti-Jew, killed 6 million Jews, right? He hated Jews. Well then, first off, Jared Kushner is an Orthodox Jew, okay? And he's key to the decision-making process in the White House. Okay? Also, Trump recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and stated that the American embassy would be moved from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. That was a huge compliment to the Jewish community. Trump also celebrated Hanukkah at the White House, and Trump has been more pro-Israel, which is a Jewish state, more than any other president. And here's the thing. Trump's and Hitler's policies don't match up. They don't. I mean, for starters, Hitler was a socialist. Trump's a capitalist. And I'm going to read you the official Nazi Party platform, and we'll see if this aligns with what Trump wants. So Hitler called for free higher education for all citizens. Okay, free. It's like free college, basically. Hitler proposed gun control. Hitler took guns away from Jews, and then, he wanted Jews to be defenseless. So we all saw what happened with the Holocaust. Also, it calls for state-controlled healthcare, profit sharing for workers in large corporations, money lenders for profiteers pushed by death, state control of education, state control of media and press, state control of industries and banks, state control of religious beliefs, and freedom. Now, this is like big government. Trump's trying to deregulate the government. He's wanting limited government. Now, here's the thing, too. If you take a look at all these policies, these match up to Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren's policies. Actually, and most of the Democratic parties, actually. But this is very close to Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren. But literally, like, all the Democratic candidates have the same agenda as Hitler. Just saying. Okay. That's something that the media's not going to tell you, though. So there's that. Hopefully that makes you a little less crazy. Now, myth number 6. Trump hates women. Yeah, you hear this a lot, and it's like, oh, I don't like Trump because I'm a woman and he's a woman and he hates women. Okay, well, first off, here's something big, and they recently did this, and this basically destroys the idea that, like, Trump hates women. So women are actually doing better under Trump than ever before. I mean, women's unemployment rate is at a 65-year low. Okay, the women's wages have gone up for the first time in 10 years. Okay, that's great. Okay, more Americans are employed than ever before. So women are actually doing very, very good under Donald Trump. Okay, and also Donald Trump even signed the Promoting Women in Entrepreneurship Act, which actually supports women's entrepreneurship programs. It's supporting women in the workplace. Now, if Trump hated women, why would he be passing these legislations that actually help women? Very interesting. Now, this one I hear every time an anti-Trump, every time a liberal approaches me and wants to argue with me. They say, why do you like Trump? He hasn't done anything, or Trump's done nothing. Well, I'm going to go through a list of the things he's done so far. So, first off, he has appointed original Supreme Court justices. Okay. The stock market reached all-time high, over 141 times. Wages hit post-recession high. Jobless claims lowest since 1969. Near record low unemployment. Record number of Americans employed. Energy independence. We're energy independent now. Over 7 million jobs have been created. Signed Promoting Women in Entrepreneurship Act. Historic criminal justice reform. Ended the war on coal. Gutted Obama-era regulations. Investment from major businesses. 72 miles of the border wall have been completed, and 150 more are in the works right now as we speak. He signed the Safe Third Country Agreement with Guatemala. That was a good one. Signed Student Loan Forgiveness Plan for Disabled Veterans. Tightened immigration asylum rules. Changed rules of engagement for fighting ISIS. Historic tax reform. USMCA trade deal. New trade deal with Japan. Historic diplomacy with North Korea. Fewer Americans on food stamps. Created Commission on Opioid Addiction. Record low unemployment for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, and Asian Americans. Women's unemployment rate hit lowest in 65 years at 3.5%. Veterans unemployed reached the lowest rate in nearly 20 years. Helped win U.S. bid for 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. Opened ANWR. Approved Keystone XL and Dakota Access pipelines. Signed right to try legislation. Signed VA Choice and VA Accountability Act. Authorized raid to kill ISIS leader, and authorized strike to kill top Iranian general Soleimani, and he recently signed a new $2 billion trade deal with Japan, which I went over in my last episode, or 2 episodes ago, rather. Alright, so I hope that helps you guys out there with TDS get a better understanding of who the president really is, and his policies and what he's actually doing for the country, not just what the media mob and fake news media and what your teachers and professors are telling you, and what social media is telling you, and what you're hearing from friends and family. So hope that helps. Now I want to get into something that is going on in Virginia. I went over this in an episode. I went over this a couple episodes ago about the Second Amendment rally going on in Virginia at the Capitol because of crazy radical Virginia Governor Ralph Northam with these crazy unconstitutional gun laws that he's putting into place. Today, the rally was going on, and on MLK Day, and of course the media saying it's going to be a white supremacist rally because according to the media, only everyone on the right are white supremacists, right? And I even got emails from this from the Everytown Demand Gun Safety and Moms Demand Delusion. From them, I saw emails saying, there's going to be right-wing extremists at the Capitol with guns. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, there's a piece written in the Daily Wire, and it's about minorities at pro-Second Amendment rally rip media over white supremacist narrative. So this quotes, on Monday, tens of thousands of Second Amendment supporters of all stripes attended a rally outside the Virginia State Capitol to protest controversial gun control measures pushed through by Democrats and supported by scandal-ridden Governor Ralph Northam. Despite the media pushing their narrative that the rally was going to be attended by dangerous right-wing extremists and violent white supremacists, the rally was diverse and peaceful. Sucks for the media. Minorities participating in the event smacked the media for pushing the false narratives. A black man at the rally was asked if he was a white supremacist as a way to dog the media. The Second Amendment supporter was holding an image of Governor Northam in either blackface or KKK hood, captioned, "The man behind the sheets wants your guns." United we stand, the man said, noting that the media is going to be mad because there was no civil unrest or arrest at the rally. They're going to be mad because all the officers are at peace. They're going to be mad because ain't nobody out here fighting. United we stand. That's what it's about, he added. White, black, Hispanic, Latino, whatever. Another man who said he works at a gun store part-time said he came out to the rally because he does not support Democrats' gun control measures and was fed up with the media's racially charged coverage of the event. Every news piece on the rally always brought up the issue of race, as though it's nothing but white rednecks and hillbillies out there who care for the Second Amendment, he said. Well, actually, black Americans, Asian Americans, Hispanic Americans, Americans in general care about the Second Amendment. Another man from Virginia named Mark said he came to the event because he loves this country and wants to support the Second Amendment, which he said was both a constitutional and civil rights issue. Quote, the governor, who's known for blackface and or possibly having a Klan hood on, has the odyssey on MLK Day to declare an executive order to prevent people from lawfully protesting. Northam also wanted to push the narrative that white supremacists are stirring up issues, he noted. I feel comfortable here, haven't had any issues here. I don't know what the problem is. 3 gun control bills passed the Democrat-controlled Virginia Senate last week, sparking the protest on Monday. Quote, the 3 bills that made it through include a law that will allow local authorities to ban weapons from public spaces during some events, another that limits handgun purchases to 1 a month, and a law requiring background checks for all firearm purchases, the Daily Wire reported Monday. The rally was completely peaceful with 0 arrests despite the media's forecast. For example, those in attendance touted pro-civil rights signs, chanted USA Together, sang the national anthem, recited the Pledge of Allegiance in unison, and even picked up trash. Wow. So that just sucks for the media because this was supposed to be a right-wing extremist rally, and the media was hoping that people would be shot or something and would be, another more proof we need gun control. Well, that just shows patriots and law-abiding citizens don't cause crime. It's criminals who will do the crime. You see? So that's the thing. And this honestly just destroys the media's narrative. And of course, this is not. Could you imagine if there was like a shooting here? It'd be all over the media, and what it'd say would be white supremacist shoot with AR-15 shoots up rally. and there were minorities there and stuff. Well, since that didn't happen, the media's not going to report it. Hopefully, you're noticing the bias in this media as well. I really hope that helps. So now that is all we have time for today. Hope you learned something, especially those with the Trump derangement syndrome, and hope you had a great time. By the way, before we go, I need you guys to go subscribe to our YouTube channel to get the show ad-free, and also to see this gorgeous face, just kidding, and to get exclusive content. Also, listen to our podcast. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Radio Public, Rocket Podcast, Baxter, and other podcast platforms that are convenient for you. And if you have a question, send it over to tmshow20@gmail.com, or you can send us a DM on our Instagram page at tmshow20, and you can get it answered on the show. My name's Tucker Meyer, and this is the Tucker Meyer Show.